A miller had 3 sons, and his fortune also included 3 things: a windmill, a donkey, and a cat. His children milled the flour, the donkey fetched the grain to grind and carry the flour, and the cat caught the mice. When the miller died, the 3 children divided the inheritance. The eldest brother got the windmill, the second brother got the donkey, and the youngest brother had to get the cat, because that was all the remaining inheritance. The youngest brother was sad and muttered to himself, "I got the worst part. My eldest brother can grind flour, my second brother can also ride a donkey, and what business should I do with that poor cat? If I could skin it to make fur gloves, I would lose my entire fortune." Hearing the end of his master and number 39's story, the cat said, "Boy, listen to me, you Don and number 39. Need to kill me. Why use the skin to make a pair of bad gloves? Just hire a worker to make me a pair of shoes so I can go out on the street. Then people will pay attention to me. Then you and number 39 probably open your eyes and make a fortune." The miller and number 39's son was very surprised when he heard Cat say that. Right at that moment, a shoemaker happened to pass by, and he beckoned him to come in and hire him to make a pair of boots for Mio. When the shoes were finished, the cat put his feet in, took a bag, filled it with barley and then tied the bag and number 39's mouth to keep the barley from spilling out. Don Cat threw the bag over his shoulder, walked out the door, walking on 2 legs like a human. The king who ruled at that time was a man who liked to eat partridges. But partridge meat has become rare and precious, because almost no one can hunt any of it. Throughout the forest, there are partridges everywhere, but the birds are so shy that they fly away whenever they see movement, so no hunter can get close enough to hunt. The cat knew about it, so he thought of a way to hunt the partridge. Entering the forest, the cat untied the sack, scattered barley around, hid the trap rope in the grass. The cat hid in a nearby bush, lying in wait. After a while, the partridge swooped down to eat the barley. After eating everything around, the bird goes into the bag to eat. When the number of birds in the bag to eat was quite large, the cat immediately carried the bag of birds on his shoulder and walked straight towards the king and number 39's palace. The guards shouted, "Stop! Where to go?" The cat replied briefly, "Go see the king." "Are you crazy? In ancient times, whose house would have a cat to meet the king?" Another soldier interjected, "Just let him in. The king is also often sad. Who knows, maybe his ridiculous growling and jumping will make him feel relieved." Arriving in front of the king, the cat stopped. The cat stood on his hind legs, bowed to the king and said, "Your Majesty, my master is an earl." The cat made up a long noble name respectfully. "I respectfully send the king and number 39's wishes for good health and respectfully present to the king the number of partridges that have just been trapped." The delicious fat partridges made the king very happy. Extremely happy about that, the king ordered Cat to go into the treasury and put as much gold as he wanted into the bag. The king said, "Remember to bring that gold back to your master, and say that I thank the count for the gift." Meanwhile, the miller and number 39's poor youngest son sat sadly by the window, holding his head in his hands, thinking how much money he had spent on buying shoes for Cat, not knowing if he would make a difference. Is anything empty? Just when the owner was sad, the cat walked in, placed the bag on the floor, untied the knot, poured out the gold in the bag right in front of the owner and said, "Master, this is a little bit to make up for the cost of buying a pair of shoes." The king also sent his regards and thanks to the master. Too happy about his new fortune, the miller and number 39's son had no stomach to ask why such things happened. The cat took off his shoes and told his owner the beginning and end of the story, then said, "Now you have enough money, but that and number 39's not all. Tomorrow morning I and number 39'll put on my shoes again. The master is even richer than he is now." I also told the king that the master is an earl. The next day, just as Cat said, Cat put on his shoes, went hunting, and brought to the king a sack full of partridges. Everything went smoothly like that. Every day the cat brought a bird to the king. Every day the cat brought home gold. The cat was loved by the king like a trusted servant. He could enter and leave the king and number 39's palace without being questioned. He could freely enter and exit the king and number 39's palace. Roaming around in the palace. One day, Cat was warming himself in the king and number 39's kitchen when he saw the coachman curse as he walked away, "I hope the king and princess will be killed by the executioner." While I was enjoying going to the pub and playing cards to my heart and number 39's content, I had to drive them to the lake for a sightseeing tour. After listening to the whole story, the cat crept back home and said to his owner, "If you really want to become an earl and become rich, come with me to the lake and jump into the lake to bathe." The miller and number 39's youngest son did not understand what was going to happen, so without saying a word, he quietly followed Cat to the lake, took off his clothes and jumped into the water. The cat took the owner and number 39's clothes and hid them somewhere. Just after hiding it, the king arrived. The cat immediately cried out, sounding pitiful, "Oh my God! Your Majesty, my lord the Count was bathing in the lake when a thief came and stole all the clothes left on the shore. Now how can my master go up? If you stay underwater for too long, you and number 39'll probably catch a cold and die." Hearing that, the king stopped the carriage and told a courtier to return immediately to get a set of clothes from the king. The Count and Quat puts on his splendid clothes. The king thought it was the Count who trapped and offered him the partridge, so he treated the Count very differently and invited him to sit in the carriage. As for the princess, there was no reason to be upset, because the Count was young and handsome, and the princess even felt that the Count was a cute person. The cat went ahead and came to a vast grass field, where there were more than 100 people punishing the grass. The cat asked, "Farmers, whose field is this?" "The sorcerer and number 39's has a lot of evil magic." The cat told them, "Listen to me, the king and number 39's carriage is about to pass through this area. If the king asks whose field belongs, remember to answer the Count and number 39's. If you Don and number 39's say so, everyone will be beaten to death on the spot." The cat continued walking, arriving at a vast barley field stretching to the horizon. There were more than 200 harvesters. The cat asked, "Dear workers, whose family does this rice belong to?" "The sorcerer and number 39's has a lot of evil magic." "Guys, listen to me, the king and number 39's carriage is about to pass through this area. If the king asks whose rice fields belong, remember to answer the count and number 39, s. If you Don and number 39, t say so, everyone will be beaten to death on the spot. Finally, Mio came to a vast and beautiful forest, where there were more than 300 people cutting down several people and number 39 sized oak trees to cut wood and make firewood. The cat asked, "Woodcutters, whose forest does this belong to?" The sorcerer and number 39 has a lot of evil magic. Guys, listen to me. The king and number 39 carriage is about to pass through this area. If the king asks whose forest this belongs to, remember to answer the count and number 39 s. If you Don and number 39 t say so, everyone will be beaten to death on the spot. The cat continued walking again. Seeing the cat have a strange appearance, walking comfortably like a person wearing shoes, everyone looked at him with fear and respect. A moment later, the cat arrived at the wizard and number 39's castle. The cat blatantly walked straight in front of the witch. The witch looked at the cat with disdain and asked what the cat wanted. The cat bowed and said, "I heard that you can transform into whatever animal you want depending on your mood. Turning into a dog, a fox, even a wolf, I can definitely believe those stories. But I believe you can and number 39 turn into an elephant. So I came here to see for myself if this is true." The young witch said smugly, "Oh, for me it and number 39's just a trivial matter." And in just a blink of an eye, the wizard turned into an elephant. The cat said, "That and number 39's very admirable, but is it possible to turn into a lion?" "What a number 39's the big deal about that little thing?" As soon as he finished speaking, standing in front of the cat was a majestic lion. The cat pretended to be scared and cried, "I have never heard of such a thing and have never seen it. Even in my dreams I have never seen it before. But if he turned into a tiny animal like a mouse, that would be truly genius. Surely he is more talented than other wizards in the world, but turning into a mouse is probably impossible." Hearing those pleasant words, the old wizard was very pleased. He said, "Oh my dear cat friend, I can even do that." And immediately the mouse was running around in the room. The cat followed, quick as lightning, immediately pounced on the mouse and ate it all up. The king, the earl and the princess went for a walk. When they reached the vast grass field, the king asked, "Whose grass field does this belong to?" "Your Majesty, the count and number 39's pasture lands." Everyone responded in unison just as Cat told them. The king said, "Count, you have a beautiful land." Then the group went to the vast rice fields. The king asked, "Is the rice field someone else and number 39's?" "Your Majesty, it and number 39's yours, the count." "Wow, count! The land is both good and vast." Coming to the forest, the king asked, "Whose forest belongs to you?" "Your Majesty, it and number 39's yours, the count." The king and number 39's surprise continued to increase. The king said, "Count, you must be very rich. I and number 39 am not sure there is such a vast and beautiful forest." Then the group arrived at the castle. The cat was waiting at the stairs. As soon as the car parked, Mio jumped down, opened the door and said, "Your Majesty, You have arrived at my master and number 39's castle. That is a lifelong honor for my master." The king got out of the car and was surprised at the splendid building, bigger and more beautiful than his palace. The count led the princess to the reception room. The room was bright and sparkling with gold and jewels. The princess is engaged to the count. And when the king and number 39's father died, the count took over the throne and appointed Puss in Boots as prime minister. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.